Welcome back to my channel, YouTube. Listen, we're gonna jump right in. But first, do me a favor. Smash the subscribe button if you're not subscribed and hit that like, please, for the love of God. I am not asking anything else. It is completely free to do those two items for me. It really helps me out. And I know I ask every time, but it really does make a difference. So anyway, today I got a special surprise for you. I'm gonna make chicken stir fry. I'm gonna show you how you can whip up this dish literally in minutes. This is a go-to for me and my family. It's so easy to prepare, and I'm gonna show you and give you a couple tricks and tips on the way. One of them, first thing, is you wanna cut the chicken breast small, or chicken thighs, whatever you have. Cut the meat pieces small, okay? I see a lot of people make this mistake, but in any stir fry, everything is chopped up really small so it can be quickly stir fried, right? And also, you wanna make sure that the pan is ripping hot. Now, do you need a wok to make stir fry? No. Honestly, I'm gonna use a non-stick pan. It's just more convenient for me. Now, do I want a wok set up with a 30,000 BTU burner? Yes. But at the end of the day, you know, I'm at home. And when I'm cooking at home, there ain't no rules, okay? So I think it's really important to take that in consideration, all right? So take down this recipe for this easy chicken stir fry with seasonal ingredients, and we're gonna hop right in. Let's go. Now, here's the thing. The vegetable stir fry that I'm gonna make has a ton of vegetables in it. And you're more than welcome to add and subtract whatever you like. I'm just using the vegetables that I know that my family would eat. So this is gonna be for a little bit of meal prep. Now listen, what's really important is find out what's in season and what looks good, right? You can add or subtract anything you want to stir fry. What I highly suggest is put in vegetables that you're gonna eat. So a lot of people like carrots in stir fry. A lot of people just like bell pepper and onion. For me, I really love the taste of bok choy and any cruciferous vegetables, so that's broccoli, cabbage, Brussels sprouts, things like that. Right now in season is snow peas and snap peas, right? They come in season in summer and also in winter, right? And then I think what is really important to take in consideration is mushrooms are optional, but again, you can add or subtract whatever you want to your stir fry. Bell pepper is always a plus. It's nice and sweet. The reason why I don't like putting carrots in my stir fry is because it's too hard of a vegetable, and that's what we're gonna get into next. So you wanna make sure you cut all your vegetables so they cook properly, right? This is a big misstep that I see in a lot of generic stir fries. You know, all these vegetables have different cooking times, okay? And that's the difference between, kind of, I don't want to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. A difference between like a home cook and a chef, right? A chef will look at this and think, okay, great. So I know that I'm going to have to start with my aromatics first, and that is your ginger and garlic. Now, for me, what I like to do is I like to flavor the oil, but just note that these two will burn very quickly. The garlic and ginger burns really fast, right? So what I like to do is I like to give my other vegetables a head start, take them out, then you cook your garlic and ginger and then stir fry everything back in. Or what you can do is, I'll show you another way, is I like to cook all the vegetables separately, which kind of can be an inconvenience, but I'm telling you, it makes such a better end product. Let me give you an example of that. If I were to cook this and this at the same time, the broccoli is gonna, these might cook at the same time, but it's not gonna be the same as if I cook the pepper and the broccoli at the same time. So I think that's really important. And that's what I'm gonna show you today. Also, I've got some chicken breast. I got this from 99 Ranch. You're more than welcome to use whatever protein you want. I highly, highly recommend that get a protein that sits nice, right? And that is nice and lean. So shrimp, scallop, chicken breast, or you could use chicken thigh, that's totally fine. Or thinly shaved beef works very well. What I would stay away from is big chunks of meat, right? That are uneven. You want either a sliced thin and julienne cut or small pieces, okay? That's what's really important. Do not put a big old New York steak in the pan to make stir fry. You wanna shave it really thin, okay? And make sure the pieces are even and there's no sinew in there. So we're gonna go over that right now. So we're gonna cut the vegetables first. Whenever I am working on a project, I always have my mise en place here on one tray. I went ahead and I cleaned some of the vegetables. The only thing we gotta clean is the bok choy, but I have my vegetables on a tray, then I have a little trash can, and then I'll have where I'm gonna put my vegetables. And then always cut the vegetables first, right? So snow peas are really easy. All you do is take off this right here. Now this was already cleaned and washed yesterday as I was prepping for this. What's really important is I'm actually not going to cook these too long. And I like these as a crunch in the stir fry. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to take this part off. So you can't eat this part, okay? Take that part off, that goes in my trash. And then what you wanna do is line them up like this. And we're gonna julienne these just like this. I love having I love having snow peas this way. I think what's really cool is you can make stir fry with anything, right? I also have some corn in there, but I don't want to put corn in there because I'm on kind of a diet. This is going to be my lunch and I want to make it super lean, but you feel free to add whatever you want. A lot of people put water chestnuts. I don't really like using canned ingredients, especially living in California. Perfect. Okay, and then look, all I do, move it right over. Okay, next we're going to get right into cutting the bell pepper. So again, I washed these last night. So for this, it's really easy. Okay, all we're gonna do is just cut it. Okay, you have to cut it. Okay, boom, cut the top off. You can do this in advance. So you can cut all your vegetables in advance. And you know what? I wanted to say one more thing. Try to get your vegetables from the farmer's market, okay? I know if you don't have one locally, but I'm telling you right now, it's such a huge difference. If you have local farmers that grow produce, you will see the difference in the bell pepper. You try a bell pepper from the store that's hydroponically grown compared to a pepper that was grown in the ground, it's a huge difference. All I'm gonna do for these, right, as you can see, they're not perfect. They're not perfect peppers, but I know these were grown organically and I know they're gonna taste delicious. So I'm just gonna cut nice little julienne strips. All right, it doesn't have to be perfect, you know? When you're cooking at the house, there is no rules. All right, make sure you watch your fingers too here. But I think what's really important is get all your mise en place together. Get everything cut, and that way the cooking is the easy part. Next, we're gonna do the snap peas. So snap peas, super easy. Same thing with the snap peas. You wanna take off this little string. Okay, beautiful, beautiful. And now listen, I love snap peas. I love snow peas. I love peas in general. The thing is they don't take long to cook. But I'm not gonna julienne these ones. I'm gonna show you exactly what I'm gonna do. And I think what's really important is you know, if you're a home cook, if you're a new culinarian, don't have everything bogging up your cutting board, right? You see how I have my things on different trays? This is how you should work. Now, I know some people don't have time for that, but I'm just telling you, it just makes you so organized, you're focused at the task at hand. So I think that's really important to take in consideration. All right, so cool. We're gonna make this a little fancy cut. So this is a little diagonal. And this is just to give some pizzazz to our stir fry. You don't have to do this. You could literally just cut this in half. You could also leave them whole, but you know, I'm fancy. And I'm gonna put these next to the snow peas. Should have grabbed it before, but I usually like to use a little card to assist. So I don't use my knife to pull up the stuff on the board. All right, cool, we're gonna go into the mushrooms. So listen, these mushrooms, here's my rule with mushrooms. Now this is gonna be a pro tip. You can do whatever you want. For conventional mushrooms, mean grown in a controlled environment, not wild, I usually never wash them, okay? It's just a waste of time, right? Now that is for domestic mushrooms. Now I know that these were not imported and these are from a local purveyor, and I just think it's a waste of time to wash domestic mushrooms. Now if they came from the forest, then yes, wash them, of course, I get it. But the idea is what you wanna do is you wanna rinse them off, right? Rinse all the dirt off and then let them dry again, okay? That's very important. Let them dry. You don't want to cook a wet mushroom, okay? Because trust me, it's not going to come out right. It's actually going to come out a little bit slimy and you will never get it crispy. So just a little pro tip. So for the shiitake and the other hansameji mushrooms, we're just going to cut like this, and I'm actually going to put these in a deli cup. And feel free to use whatever containers you want. I like to use deli cups. I like to use containers because that way I know where everything's at, right? A lot of people will work on the cutting board and then they just push it to the side on the cutting board. I don't like to do that. I like to keep my cutting board with one task on it and then move to the next task. That way, if I need to leave, you know, if you're in a professional kitchen and you need to leave your workstation, it looks nice and clean and organized. And remember that, to all my young cooks out there, my young chefs, my young culinarians, remember, your station is a reflection of you. Remember that. All right, broccoli. So listen, this one is this big, this one is this big. All right, what we wanna do is we wanna get everything to the like size, right? So this one, obviously I'm gonna cut in 4, and then this one, I'm gonna cut the stem off, trash, and then boom, cut in half, okay? Perfect, look at that, see? That's what you want. And then the reason why I have the dough card is so I could do this number, but I usually do this in the restaurant. This is my house knife, so I'm not really too worried about it. Next, we're gonna get into the onion. Feel free, you can leave onions out. You can use shallot, you can use red onion. Preferably, I like to use red onion, but you know, for color, but you know, this is what I have in my house. So I'm only gonna use a half an onion and peel it. And And I'm gonna try to speed up this process. Onion, always remember, tuck your fingers in. Okay, boom. Okay, onion I'm gonna put next to the bell pepper. They usually cook at the same time. All right, next we're gonna get into the ginger. Now, hear me out. Peeler. And I know this is kind of like I'm talking a lot and going in depth, but I think it's really important. I think, you know, reading my comments on TikTok and Instagram, a lot of people want to know like my perspective and in detail on certain things that I prep. So I think it's totally worth it. You know, obviously if you're experienced, then just go ahead and fast forward through this part and get to the cooking part. But yeah, so I always, for ginger, you know, the grain goes this way, right? I think what's really important is a lot of people want to cut the ginger this way. What I like to do is cut it this way. Cut coins, because this is going to be chopped ginger, okay? So cut coins, make sure you have no unwanted pieces there, okay? And then make a few stacks, okay? Just like that, right? Then from there, julienne through, okay? Boom. All right, next what we're going to do is we're going to rotate the piles. But what I want you to see is now, you know, it's really easy to break and it's not fibrous, right? Because we cut against the fibers. So then that way, when you're chopping ginger, when you go to eat it, it's not gonna be stringy. And then it doesn't have to be perfect. Remember, this is a stir fry, okay? We're not making a Michelin star freaking dish at our casa. That's how you do it. I like to, you know, leave the pieces a little bit big. I don't like it super chopped, right? I want to know that somebody took the time and effort to chop it nice, but at the same time, you know, I'm at my house, so we're not gonna sit here and make perfect brunoise, right? Even though it's hard not to. Boom. I know I'm using a lot of containers, but it's just the chef in me. You don't have to be like me. I'm just showing you the way I like to do things. On to the next task. What we're gonna do is we are gonna cut some scallions. Now, remember the scallions is a garnish. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna turn my knife this way. I'm gonna cut off the extreme ends, right? We don't want those. And then I'm just gonna run my knife through. Remember using the tip to the heel, tip to the heel. I'm doing it fast, but see, look, tip all the way to the heel, tip all the way to the heel. Remember that. And then listen, don't throw this part out, okay? I got a cool video on how to make a garnish with that. I'm gonna put this on our green tray over here. Okay, next we're gonna go into some garlic. Now listen, I try to do the best I can to not buy the pre-peeled garlic. You know, but obviously if you're in a restaurant, it's a different story. You can get the wholesale, but there we go. The garlic that's in the bag or that's already pre-peeled, listen, it's already fermented. Garlic ferments so fast. I just think it's actually worth it to you know, if you only need a couple cloves, peel your own. Don't even waste time, right? This literally takes seconds, okay? Boom, boom, boom. Look, I mean, look how fresh this garlic is. It's making me cry. That's not the onion. You use chopped garlic too much, all right, because I feel like it just disintegrates. So I wanna know that there's garlic in there, right? So I just do this number, just run my knife through it. You keep the integrity, you know, it's not a deal breaker. You know, bok choy is very chewy if you do not prepare it correctly. So a lot of people like to leave the leaves whole, and I highly advise against that. If you get this in your mouth, it's gonna be so chewy, just like celery, okay? So we don't want that. And also what I realize is it's better to cut it dirty and then clean it while it's cut. That way the dirt has a chance to escape. If you, trust me, I've cleaned so much bok choy in my life, cases upon cases. And what I like to do is this is not the whole bok choy, but take off the outer leaves and then I'll show you right now. So look, I have not cleaned this yet. This is what I like to do. Any leaves that don't look appetizing, get rid of them. Cut the tops off, and then what I do is just cut down just like that, okay? Cut the tops off, then cut down just like that, okay? All the way down to the root. Now, look at this. If I was in a restaurant, I would not serve this one. You see all the holes? You see all the holes? That's, you know, that could be scary to some people, but in all honesty, as a chef, that is a good sign for me. You know why? That means this bok choy was grown organically, meaning, you know, they didn't use pesticides because the bugs were eating it. So yeah, it's kind of scary, but at the same time, it's kind of a good sign. The farmer that I got this from, I know he's not certified organic, but I know he farms organically. If you want to, like a pro tip is if all you have to do is ask the farmer, what do they use for weed control? And you'll know whether they use pesticides or not. So I'm gonna wash this, I'll be right back. Okay, so basically what you wanna do is get in here, cold water. And what I like to do is wash it really well. And you have to get your fingers up in there, okay? Don't be scared. Get your fingers up in here. Okay, and then I like to let it sit, okay? And then that way the dirt will float to the bottom, okay? Because it's heavier, and the leaves will float to the top. And then what we're gonna do is we are going to lift out the bok choy onto a pan with clean towel. Okay. Nice and clean. Man, it's a beautiful day here in California. So check this out. What we're gonna do next is we're gonna cut the chicken. So you notice how I cut all the vegetables first. Okay, we have everything organized, set to the side. I grab a pair of gloves. I highly suggest whenever handling meat, just grab a pair of gloves. You don't need to, but it's, you know, it's a way to ensure no cross-contamination, okay? So now that we have that, we're gonna deal with our chicken. So again, you can use whatever protein you want. I am choosing to use chicken breast because I'm on a mean and lean diet right now. Now, really important, completely up to you, whether you want to wash your chicken or not. Us chefs, we don't care, okay? We don't care about if you want to wash your chicken or not, or if you should. Now, here's my professional opinion on that. Chicken parts like this come ready to prepare. Now, here's the thing. If your grandma used to wash the chicken and used to wash the pork, I totally get it. My grandma did the same thing. And the reason is because they didn't have the types of rules and regulations they did back in the day where they do now. Now, if you feel that your chicken has an odor or it is slimy, then it is bad, okay? Throw it away, okay? That no rinsing will remove that it's rancid, okay? I think this is really important. So, what I'm gonna do is these are big chicken breasts too. I don't even know where these things came from, to be honest. I just got them from 99 Ranch. What I'm gonna do is, like, if you notice the grain is here on the chicken, it's going this way. So there's a part that has connective tissue. I'm gonna cut this part completely out, okay? And the reason why I do that for stir fry is that way there's no chewy bits, okay? I don't want any chewy bits in my chicken stir fry. It has to be nice and tender for me. Here's another one right here, okay? Cut it out. I cut it straight out. Now, you don't have to do this. For me, I wanna make sure that there is no chewy bits in my chicken stir fry. Okay, put that to the side. We're gonna deal with the other breast. So this actual technique is called butterflying the chicken. But what I'm gonna do is take it a step further, and then I'm gonna cut this tendon out, okay? Cut this straight out. And you don't have to be pretty, right? We're making stir fry, so we're cutting these in small pieces. But I'm telling you, there's nothing worse than eating your stir fry and chewing on chicken sinew, okay? That's the worst when everything else is tender. Okay, perfect. We have our chicken, and now I'm gonna show you how I like to slice it, okay? So for this chicken stir fry, I would usually do a julienne cut like this, okay? The reason why I like little chicken strips is that way it looks almost the same as the vegetable and it's just nicer to eat. We're gonna do nice little strips like this. You could also dice it. If I was doing chicken thigh, I would dice it only because chicken thigh is a little bit more forgiving. Remember, when you're slicing meat, I always get in the habit of slicing. Do not do this number with meat, okay? Don't do this. This is a no. Don't do that. You're just pressing down. You're destroying the meat. Always slice through it. Use your knife, okay? And you can see as I'm working through this, okay, the pieces are actually nice. Now, oh, you know what is also a good thing to keep in mind is my knife hand, I always keep clean. I only use my knife as an extension, and I always keep this hand clean, free from chicken, because you don't want to go cross-contaminating everything when you go grab stuff. So listen, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna toss this in a little cornstarch, okay? And honestly, I'm not trying to coat this. It's just so the pieces of chicken don't stick to each other too much, right? Now, this is just about like maybe 1 or 2 tablespoons. It's really not that much, but I'm telling you, it makes a huge difference in the finished product, okay? So we're not gonna make it too saucy, right? If you were to really dredge this, it would become really saucy. This is just so I can get the individual pieces and they don't stick to each other too much. Okay, we are cooking live for you. So check this out. I'm using a little safflower oil. You can use whatever you want. Was it sunflower? No, this is safflower. Safflower oil, you could use whatever you want, okay? Don't freak out. What I also like to do is obviously if I was in a restaurant setting, I would use a wok, okay? Yes, a wok with high BTUs on the gas range. But guess what? We in the house. I'm using my induction. Here's my trick to ultimately the best stir fry. I like to cook the vegetables separate. I like to cook the chicken separate. A lot of people will throw down the meat first, then take it out, and then throw down their vegetables. But listen, I don't do all of that. Okay, we really cooking over here. As you can see, I'm using a big, large, non-stick pan. I know this pan is only gonna be heating up right here, so take that in consideration. Everybody's pans are different. So first things first, I'm gonna come in with my broccoli. Okay, and listen, I'm not adding any seasoning to these, okay? And I'm gonna show you why in a minute. All right, so, because listen, soy sauce is salty, okay? Not everything needs salt and pepper. See, I'm not adding too much oil. Once I get a little bit of color, watch this. I'm just gonna give these a little head start, okay? Boom. Okay, yeah, we cooking live over here, so check this out. Boom, this is good. Okay, then all I'm gonna do is get that onto the pan. We're gonna let this dry out a little bit and we're gonna go right in with our next vegetable. I can add a little bit of oil and it won't be a problem. Now listen, onions and peppers cook at the same time. Okay, so listen, we're not adding any water to this. We're just gonna cover it so they can steam ever so gently. So make sure you have a pan with a lid. I wish you could smell this. So look, par cooked, boom, on to the next. Now listen, the non-stick pan that I'm using is all-clad, but I'm a really big fan of the Analon X. I think the Analon X works wonders, and it's at a pretty affordable price. Anyway, here we go, moving on. Now listen, I'm gonna do the mushrooms next. I think what's really important, take in consideration, mushrooms need a lot of fat. So mushrooms down, right? Spread them out, don't overcrowd. And for sure, you're gonna have to add a little bit more fat to the mushrooms. And listen, we're not adding any salt, any pepper, nothing. I like to season my stir fry right at the end, okay? And the only thing that's really seasoned is the chicken, you'll see. So again, if I were to add the mushrooms right to the vegetables, you wouldn't get nice color like this, you know? You wouldn't get this nice color. I think that's really important. All right, again, we are not trying to cook these all the way. We're not gonna steam them. I'm sorry, we're not gonna, completely cook these all the way. What we're gonna do is just par cook them. So that way we have an evenly, consistently cooked product at the end. All right, and mushrooms cook pretty fast. Boom, look at this. Look at that nice color. You see that? Okay, now for the mushrooms, I like to add a touch of spicy sesame oil, or you can just add regular sesame oil. I have spicy, so I'm gonna use it. This really adds a great umami effect to the mushrooms. Okay, sesame oil, boom. All right, now we're gonna go in with our greened vegetables, and this happens very, very fast. Okay, so here we go. A little bit of oil down, super hot pan. First things first, it's gonna be our Bok Choy. Yep, this is gonna happen really fast. Again, we're just par cooking, nothing crazy. Green vegetables require a little bit of steam. Boom. Okay, when that happens, so we're almost there, right off. Last one, super easy. Snap peas, literally take 30 seconds. Okay, we're saving these for the end of the actual stir fry. Okay? Here we go. Lightly steamed. Look at that. See that? See how fast that happens? Now you can add the bok choy and the snap peas together. I just choose to do them separately, but you're more than welcome. Okay, so really important. Now that part of our life is over, we are gonna move on to the chicken. And now when cooking chicken, you have to be aware of what's going on. And you wanna make sure you cook your chicken properly, okay? These pieces are small, so I'm not too worried about it, but you're gonna put a hefty amount of oil in the pan. And remember, if you are on a low-fat diet, just use Pam spray, no problem. Anytime working with chicken, either use gloves or make sure your hands clean. Okay, so remember, we're not adding any seasoning to this, and you'll see why in a minute. Okay, boom, we'll get all this in. And you see how the pieces are kind of starting to stick a little bit? That's why the cornstarch really helps to not let them clump back up. But we're gonna get right in here with the first tray. Be careful with metal on the Teflon, okay? If you're using Teflon, be careful. I'm a trained professional, so I feel good about it. Okay. Sorry, the background's gonna be a little noisy. I got the fan going. We really cooking up in here, okay? We really cooking. So check this out, very important. From here, I'm gonna get this onto a separate area, okay? Chicken is par cooked, but now it's go time, okay? So all that work has paid off. We have everything par cooked. Now we are gonna plate up. Now, what's really important is we need to season the chicken. The chicken is the most important part that needs to be seasoned, okay? So what we're gonna do is we are gonna start off with fresh oil, okay? And this is how I like to do mine. Now you can do it all together, whatever you wanna do. I like to taste the different vegetables in my stir fry. So this is gonna happen really fast. Start off ginger, okay? Garlic, and trust me, it's the ginger will not burn as fast as the garlic. So I know the garlic and the ginger are two different sizes, but trust me, don't crush the cooking on this. You want only a little bit of color, and once you start to see color develop, it will be cooked, okay? I think a lot of people, you know, really mess up a lot of dishes by burning their garlic and ginger. Sorry, we're gonna pump this up high speed, but it's okay. Listen, just turn the heat down a little bit and cook it properly. There's no need to absolutely crush it. If it does start burning, a pro tip is to add a little bit more oil, okay? And then that will bring down the temperature from, you know, 3,000, okay? All right, so, oh my God, if you could smell this right now, this is amazing. So you can see the garlic is not burnt, the ginger's not burnt, it's starting to smell really good. Okay, now I'm gonna go back in with my chicken, and this part is gonna happen really fast, okay? Two things I like to use. One is a really good quality soy sauce or shoyu, okay? Now listen, what's really important is you don't want to over reduce this, because when you add it to the pan, it's gonna cook a little bit, okay? And you don't want to over reduce it or it'll be too salty, okay? And if it does start losing a lot of liquid, you can just add a touch of water, okay? That'll help it finish cooking the chicken, but not make the soy sauce too salty. And look, for the love of God, if you don't feel comfortable cooking chicken, just get a thermometer. There's no reason to guess, okay? No reason whatsoever. Look at this, look at this knife. So you can see the light coating of cornstarch is, you know, making the sauce really nice. I can tell I need to add just a touch more water, so that way it gives me a little more leeway and a little bit of steam. Okay, then we're gonna go in with low sodium soy sauce, just a little bit. Perfect. Look at this chicken. Look at it, absolutely beautiful. So listen, here we go. This is done. This is complete. I want you to look at that. Look at that. Look how nice that looks. Chicken's cooked nicely. The sauce is coating really nice. Okay, put that to the side. And now we're gonna build a dish. So I'm doing this for meal prep for me and the family a little bit later, but we're gonna finish our stir fry now. So we have our chicken inside. Okay, then we're gonna add our vegetables. So a little bit of pepper, broccoli, okay, bok choy, mushrooms. Okay, so you see how everything's nice and vibrant? Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add the snow peas right at the end, okay, and the scallions, okay? A little bit of scallions in and a little bit of scallions to garnish. And since our vegetables are already cooked, pretty much, we're almost done here. All we gotta do is heat up to therm, finish cooking the vegetables, and boom, you have a wonderful stir fry. I'm gonna turn the heat off and we're gonna go ahead and plate up a little bit. So next thing we're gonna do, offset that plate. Ooh, nice. Beautiful. Okay, now pro tip here, I am using a Teflon pan, so I'm using a spatula because I do not want to mess up my Teflon pan. So look at this, beautiful. Beautiful veggies are cooked perfectly. The chicken breast is cooked perfectly. That's how we do it, okay? Completely optional, but I like to add a few sesame seeds. Few sesame seeds, that's my personal preference, but you don't have to. And also, a few scallions on top. Boom, look at that. Thanks everyone for watching. If you made it this far, I really appreciate it. Make sure you smash that like button, hit that subscribe. Now listen, if you're not following me on all my social medias, it's gonna be linked down in the description along with this recipe, but I highly urge you to go hit me up over there. I post daily content on my TikTok and Instagram, so check it out.